Judgment here. I thought I would make the last of the videos about Morbid's progression through the game now that I have given him the very best gear I think I can provide him. You can see he is about level 96.57 or 8. This may be a character which I may progress on to level 97. I started up D2R and OBS to try and make this introductory video, and I thought I would play through the game a bit, but in one of the Worldstone Keep levels I got arguably the best drop he has ever had, and that is a Death's Fathom Dimensional Shard, which was something of a surprise. I will show you some of his other highlights later on in this video. Let's begin with his gear. For the main on-hand weapon I made the Runeward Beast in a Berserker Axe, and I did it in a Berserker Axe because I thought that I might like to use this axe on other characters. His armour is Enigma Mage Plate, and with the strength boost to that gives him the necessary strength to equip the Beast Berserker Axe without adding in too many additional hard points. A Harlequin Crest Shaker with an rune in it, that crafted Caster Amulet with 18 Magic Vine and +2 to Necromancer skill levels, an Homunculus, and this is, I still think, the very first one I ever found, which is shared between my two high-level Necromancers, Sigma the Bone Mancer and Morbid the Summoning Necromancer. War Travellers, that Fast Cast All Resistance Ring, Arachnid Mesh Spiderweb Sash, Fast Cast All Resistance Ring, the best one I think you can possibly get for resistances, and Chance Scars upgraded to Vambraces. In the inventory we have a Hellfire Torch with the emphasis on resistances, my one and only Annihilus, a decent Geeds, and 3 summoning skills, all with boosts to life, a Resistance Charm, another Resistance Charm, and after that just 7% Magic Find Small Charms. On Switch, a Call to Arms Crystal Sword that I also share between many of my characters, and again with the strength boost from Enigma that gives him enough strength to equip a Spirit Monarch. That gives him the following statistics. This is one of the rare characters I do not run with full resistances, though I could easily add in another +5 All Resistance Charm to boost those resistances past the 75 maximum. There are the main statistics, and these are obtained by simply enough strength to equip the gear, enough dexterity to equip the gear, and pretty much the rest into vitality. The advanced stats look like this. We have 324 Magic Find, we have 18% damage reduction. We also have 50% fast cast by virtue of the Arachnid Mesh belt, the amulet and the 2 rings, and the 50% fast cast does pass a breakpoint at 48, but really it's just for teleporting around. The Mercenary has Infinity, Fortitude, and my best Andariel's Visage. I've never found an ethereal one, but this one has an attack speed jewel that also has 30 fire resistance, which is why you don't see the -30 to fire resistance that is traditionally on an Andariel's Visage. The Golem is made from the Runeward Insight. That's more just as a convenience, and I will mention more about the skills later on. In the stash, that 10% fast cast resistance 9 magic find ring, which I could use to replace that one and try and get the resistances back some other way, and 2 30% magic find Nagel rings, which I don't use at all, and a perfect Mara's Kaleidoscope, which I could also use to boost up the resistances, and my memory of it is this is the one found by Ermin the Wind Druid. I am still carrying in the stash the Demon's Arch Balrog Spear with its fire and lightning damage, and also the triple faceted Demon Head that I was using when this character had the Trang set. It's not as necessary now that he has much better gear, but there are still occasions where this is a quicker combination when tackling physical immune monsters. I'm not certain I got the facet jewels correct, and I think I should have put an additional lightning jewel in there rather than the cold skill one. For skills, The only poison and bone skill that I've put points into is 1 into teeth, and then I have maximised corpse explosion. For summoning, I have maximised skeleton mastery, raised skeleton, 1 point into raised skeletal mage, 1 point into revive, 1 point to clay golem, 1 point into blood golem, and 1 point in summon resist. I have maximised golem mastery, and any additional points are going into iron golem. For curses, 1 point in dim vision, amplify damage, weaken I don't use, terror I do use, decrepify I use, lower resist I use, life tap I use, iron maiden I do not use. So there's 1 point in all of these curses. I do like to play in a more tactical fashion, and I find all of these curses valuable at some stage. I have certainly seen necromancer builds who only put 1 point to amplify damage, but I do find uses for all these curses. I started this character close to New Year's Day in the first stream of 2022, and we're approaching 6 months, and I think it is time to consider starting a new character and also moving some of my older characters further towards level 97. So I'm going to show you some gameplay here, and the first thing is raising of corpses. I was at one stage going into Pindleskin to raise the corpses there, then going up to Eldritch, but in the end I went back to raising the corpses at Pindleskin. We are entitled to get 14. I would like to get as many of those 14 up as quick as possible, then cast battle orders and battle command, and then raise mages. I don't ever recall getting to the full 14 skeletons. Okay, there's our last skeleton. We can bring up a total of 8 mages once we have got up battle command. And there's our full 8 mages. Okay, we teleport in to meet Pindleskin. And really the summons are just to support the Mercenary. I've no doubt they do some acceptable damage in their own right, but basically it's the Mercenary doing most of the damage. I'd point out a couple of things about Infinity. It's not just the Conviction Aura. There is also 40% chance of a crushing blow, and what I consider to be a surprisingly important part of his skill armory is the 35% run walk. I was using the Trang set on this character for a number of levels, and the trouble was that the skeletons would frequently be into the battle faster than the Mercenary, and that problem is much lessened now that he has 35 run walk. Now notice the Mercenary is being blocked. Now we can teleport back to try and reposition the Mercenary. It is not the quickest character to play in Players 8, but it does seem to handle pretty much everything in the game. Now down here we're going to let the summons and the golem have a go at that soul on their own. Right, they've got it in the corner here, and you can see the killing speed of the golem and the summons on their own, not really all that quick. Now here we could consider using Decrepify, but normally I find that the Mercenary and the summons just block, and the Mercenary just runs around and knocks them down one by one, and we can add in Corpse Explosion. There's Decrepify. Okay. We've lost a skeleton. we've got a skeleton back. In the following battles against Baal, I have speeded up the video against Baal, but not the audio. The time is taken from the first frame of Morbid and his minions entering the Worldstone chamber to the last frame of Baal's name just before he dies. The number of revives varies, and I don't know what effect this would have on defeating Baal. You would certainly need more trials to come up with a definitive answer as to what sort of monster is the best to revive. All of the revives are generated in Players 8 mode, and Baal is always battled in Players 3 mode. Don't jump any other monster except Baal, basically. So I reckon it's a little slower without the revives, but... So I'm working on this... Oh, there's an unusual drop. There's Whitston's Guard, the highest blocking percentage shield in the game by actually quite some margin. What you have been looking at there is Morbid battling Baal, just with a pack of skeletons and mages, and normally that's how I've played Baal. Morbid with his best build is now more than powerful enough to tackle Baal on his own, but given that he is a summoning necromancer and can raise up to 18 revives, how well can he do with other monsters on his side? After some months of playing Morbid, I had a reasonable idea as to what monsters were going to be the best revives. I have made a list in LibreOffice of all the monsters that can be encountered in the Worldstone Keep levels and the Throne of Destruction. In Worldstone Keep level 1, there are only really 3 monsters I thought were worth reviving: Black Lancers, Deathlords and Vile Witches. In Worldstone Keep level 2, it was suggested to me while I was on stream that I have used Black Souls as revives, possibly Serpents. I didn't think there was anything much in there, though Cadavers may do a decent melee hit. In Worldstone Keep level 3 are Deathlords and Hell Temptresses, and for the purpose of this video I'm considering things like Hell Temptresses and Vile Witches to be essentially the same. In the Throne of Destruction, Burning Souls, Deathlords, Hell Witches, possibly Serpents and Dolls, and for each of these monsters I have suggested a possible number. Deathlords do immense damage, but they are physically quite large and simply get in the way of the Mercenary and possibly each other, but things like Dolls and Black Lancers are physically small and quick across the ground. I have generated a number of games and tested each of these monsters. And there's the problem with them. They are just too big and bulky and get in the way of the Mercenary. There's our 6th one. Can we get a 7th? That'll about do. And see how long it takes for each... Stop that. So that's 7 Deathlords. I wish that Baal would stop doing that. I'll go back through the recording and see how long it takes. So we have 8 Dolls revived at the moment. Oh, there's still 8 of them there. I think that was even the number I specified on my chart. Okay, alright, so there's 8 Dolls. That's not bad actually. Happy with that. Right, now how do we go though? What I've liked about the Witches is that they stand back from the battle don't get in the mercenary's way. And that, I've got to say, looks pretty quick. And that will do nicely. And we get a Reaper's Toll. Is it ethereal? No, it's not. 20114. Oh, that's actually quite effective. I assume because of the conviction aura, but that's going probably about as good as we've done. I don't know if they're trying to melee Baal or not, but they shouldn't be. Morbid's levelling has been done mostly in the Worldstone Keep levels and against Baal. I don't find the River of Flame and the Chaos Sanctuary to be a particularly good area in which to play this character, but I am well aware that many summoning necromancer builds nominate Urdars as the best possible revived monsters. So just for once I went to the River of Flame and raised a pack of Urdars. Right, here we go. 11 Urdars. Maybe too many. On the other hand, okay, that's worked pretty well. You can see why Urdars are considered the best revived monsters, and I can certainly understand those summoning necromancers who tackle Uber Tristram with a group of Urdars. I normally find that the revived monsters by the end of Lister's pack have expired due to their 3-minute lifespan. And given that Morbid can defeat Baal quite easily using just the Mercenary, Golem, Skeletons and Skeleton Mages, it's certainly not time efficient to go out and raise a pack of revives just to defeat Baal. I thought I would add on to the end of this video Morbid's best drops during the 6 months that I've been levelling and playing this character with progressively better gear. He has found a number of the rarest items in the game and a large number of items in D2R for the first time. Here are his best drops from the 1st of January 2022 to the 30th of June 2022. Oh, well, there are only 4 runes I haven't found in D2R, and there's one of them. There's a Sur rune. Oh, there's one. But there is a wind force. What mana steel do we get? 7% in, I think it only goes 6, 7, 8. I've yet to find a Burr rune in its own right, but he has now found 2 Sirs, once on the playthrough and that one there. Lesser aim. Oh, okay. I suppose we should stop and identify that. Oh, there we go. That's one of 3 runes I've yet to find. Haven't found Ohm, I haven't found Zod, and up until now I haven't found a Burr. Geez, what a bunch. Okay, Harlequin Crest. 99 is about as low as it goes. What's that? Okay, Abdul, you've seen something. Now you've seen a rune. Low rune. Now that, I think, is the 5th Sir rune this character has found, and that is Morbid's best build, as I have it so far, and also his best drops across 6 months of playing the character, and it cannot be considered a low level build. He is using a jar rune, 4 burrs, and a low rune, and those are clearly not runes that can be obtained by a beginning player easily. If you would like to look at Morbid's other progression videos, which show him playing through the game with much lesser gear, I will put links to those in the description. One rule change I would like to see in the game is for iron golems to be revivable. The iron golem you can see is made from the Insight rune word, and I think it would improve the power of summoning necromancers if they could resummon iron golems, particularly those made from rune words. So in the future you may see this character progress towards level 97, and clearly one other test that this character could undergo would be to try and obtain Hellfire torches in Uber Tristram, though in that case I would expect to drop much of the magic fine gear and concentrate on survivability. During this video I have concentrated on the summoning tree, but I realise there's also the possibility of making videos for the poison and bone tree and also the curse tree. So at some stage in the future I will make a video showing these skills and the curses, and that video will feature both Sigma the Bone Mancer and Morbid the Summoning Necromancer. Until then.